How's it going, Film and TV fans? Welcome back to another review on the Off the Cuff Film Review YouTube channel, a name that's also pending in review. And welcome back to my new series that we're doing for the next couple of months. It's got a tentative name, which is Reviewing Netflix Originals, but I think I'll be changing that name at some point in the future. But yes, basically, over the next 2.5 months, I'll be looking at a ton of Netflix original movies. Now, this also includes movies that, well, may not have been Netflix originals in other territories, but in the United Kingdom. These movies are Netflix originals, so those kind of movies that include stuff like Shaft and Love and Monsters and The Circle and The Foreigner and yeah, there's a variety of different movies that were in other countries were released on Blu-ray DVD and in the cinemas, in this country they weren't. Now, this is going to be a daily thing for I have managed to gather 62 Netflix movies, not including this one or the ones I've previously reviewed already. 62 Netflix movies to talk about across the next 2.5 months. So how long this will last, who knows, it might not last all times. But obviously, today we're covering, I thought I'd get the longest, most painful one out, well not painful, but the longest one out of the way, because this movie is 3.5 hours long, so I thought I would get that one out of the way. We are of course looking at Martin Scorsese's 3.5 hour epic, The Irishman. But before we delve into that, like I said, this is a whole series, but I just want to say quickly that I'm moving the schedule for Star Wars and stuff forward. So instead of not doing anything until Thursday and then starting the Netflix, because we've got 60 films to get through, I'm going to start Star Wars tomorrow. So look forward to a review of Star Wars: A New Hope tomorrow, and then I'll be simultaneously doing the I'll be doing the Star Wars movies for the next for the next 11 days is all Star Wars. So that includes the 9 episodes plus Solo and Rogue One, because why the fuck not? Yeah. So let's delve straight into The Irishman, which, by the way, although it is Netflix exclusive, has been released by the Creation Collection on Blu-ray. So, and DVD and stuff like that. So that's cool. But obviously, this is from Martin Scorsese, who, you know, an absolute legend of the field. If you want to know who is the legendary person behind the best gangster films in Hollywood, it is Martin Scorsese. Goodfellas, Casino, this movie, some of the best gangster movies ever made, he is behind them. Obviously, as a film fan, I am very behind my Martin Scorsese movies. I've only seen, I think, Goodfellas, The Irishman, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Which, you know, out of those 3 movies, Goodfellas is my favourite. Then I actually, upon watching this, it goes Goodfellas, this movie, then The Wolf of Wall Street, which is really weird, because, you know what, I really like this movie, and I think what I like the most about this movie is I have got some notes written down for the first time since what was it? I can't remember what movie it was that I wrote notes for last time. I wrote notes for one of the reviews. I can't remember which one it is, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. So, let's move forward. Yeah, so The Irishman, I think the de-aging tech is the first thing. I think it works, but there is still points where you can clearly see, like, I know something one of my friends pointed out when I was talking about this movie. He pointed out to me that while their faces look, you know, much younger, they still have the mannerisms, the movement of 70, 80 plus year old people, which doesn't take away from it, but it is noticeable when you start to look at things. But I think I think out of all the actors, the one that's been managing to successfully be de-aged the best is definitely Al Pacino as Jimmy Hoffa. I think De Niro. Pesci seems to have gone wrong, because he just looks old the whole time. For some reason, I know maybe that's supposed to be his character, but he just looks old the entire time, whereas De Niro and Pacino managed to actually look a bit younger. So yeah, that's one of my notes that I have. Another one I've got is music. We've got Robbie Robinson, who composed a single original piece that you just heard called The Theme from The Irishman, plus his track Remembrance from Cinematic, which is as the end credits of the film, which we're hearing now. yeah, again, not even just the theme from The Irishman is a cool piece, but I also think as a whole the music in this film, like any Martin Scorsese film, is brilliant, as they usually are. We also have quite a few actors in this movie that's beside the wonderful Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci. You also have people like Jesse Plemons, Stephen Graham's in this movie. You've got Anna Paquin is also in this movie, who was in X-Men and stuff like that. So it's got a phenomenal cast, and I think what this movie does, what its strength is, being able to create this world. With the time it has, it's created a world where you truly feel invested in the characters, and I think while no one wants to sit and watch a 3.5-hour movie because it is a slog, you do get distracted. I think, sure, the length is... I don't think the length is an issue because it means the world building is second to none. It means the story is incredible, and it has just spent the time to build each character in its own dignified way, and I can really appreciate that from a movie standpoint, from a, you know, not even just a structural standpoint, but from a story standpoint. If you want to tell this story and you need this much time, it doesn't feel like it's being stretched out. It feels like every moment is important to the story, and I think I can really appreciate that deep down from the world of The Irishman. I think it's great to see Scorsese doing what he does best, making great gangster films, and I think out of all those supporting actors that I mentioned, Anna Paquin, Stephen Graham, Jesse Plemons, it is, I think, Stephen Graham that gives the best of those performances. But like I said, it is far away from the worst movie I've seen. It's really a good movie. You just need... now, I think one of my friends says it best, is this is a movie you save for a rainy day. A day where it's raining, you don't have to go out anywhere, you've got nothing to do. This is the movie you put on for that rainy day. And another movie that's like that is Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I have yet to rewatch again after my initial viewing. But this movie is another one of those rainy day movies. I think obviously it's far better than Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it is a really well made movie. Like I said, it manages to pull its story out in such a way. It manages to tell and unfold its events. Obviously, it's based on a true story of Jimmy Hoffa and that kind of thing. So those are always I've always felt that my favourite kind of movie is like movies based off of real life stories and stuff. You know, Richard Jewell, Just Mercy, this, Goodfellas, The Godfather to an extent. You know, all of this stuff, all of these movies that are based off of real life. The Wolf of Wall Street, all these movies that are based off of real life stories tend to be my favourite kind of movies, which is why this is a great movie. I love Goodfellas, I love Wolf of Wall Street, you know, I love all the ones I've mentioned before, Richard Jewell, Just Mercy, all brilliant fucking movies in their own right. And this is another one of those movies that I genuinely adore. It's a great movie. It's genuinely loads of fun, because it keeps everyone, I think, performance-wise, everyone has great performances. Like I said, you really get invested in the story. I watched this movie this is the second time I've watched this movie all the way through, by the way, if you're wondering. The first time was in Christmas 2019, on Christmas Day. After all the food and stuff, I just put this movie on and watched it all the way through on Christmas Day. I thought I'd get a chance to watch it again, so I thought I'd watch it all the way through on Christmas Day, and I'm glad I did, because it is a terrific movie. It's definitely not Scorsese's best, but it is still a fucking brilliant movie that I just love the hell out of. Again, it has a great soundtrack. It's obviously the story behind how it was made, and it's even in existence in a way, is unfortunate, because it was a movie that Scorsese shopped around constantly to many different studios, and other studios wanted to make it because they couldn't. None of the studios wanted to put the money up to make it, and then he brought it to Netflix, and Netflix put the money up for him to make it. So it's just one of those things where you know, it's just it is such a well put together movie. It's a movie that I think genuinely only Martin Scorsese could make, in a way, and I think Martin Scorsese is an interesting character because obviously he is a legend, but he has said some interesting things about some types of movies. I agree, the type of movie he makes tends to, you know, is not something made anymore, but at the same time, he manages to still just make movies that are genuinely exciting to watch. And I think, like I said, his best thing he is known for by far is not only working with Robert De Niro and working with Leonardo DiCaprio and having done that fucking mod, but I think this movie, when this one came out, it was, well, I think, not this movie, but the next movie they're working on, I think it's Killers of the Rebel Moon, or Killers or something, like some sort of killer based movie. And by the time that one comes out, that will be the 10th collaboration between him and De Niro, and the 7th between him and DiCaprio. So it's one of those things where he is a legend. He is, you know, one of the best filmmakers of all time, making incredible movies. But there is really no buts to that sentence, because, you know, he is incredible and one of the best directors out there. And this movie proves that even more so. It's a great movie. It really is, and I hope he continues making movies forever. He's a great director, and I think this and all his other movies prove to the fact that he is genuinely, you know, you got Harvey Keitel in this movie as well, someone who's been with Martin Scorsese since the beginning of Taxi Driver and things like that. So, like I said, while I think obviously the de-aging tech doesn't, I think it works, but at the same time, it was obviously, this movie was, I think, was a test, because obviously he wanted to make this movie a while ago, but he couldn't, you know, like I said, he shopped around for years and years and years. But I think this movie of all movies is the one that I think, to me, was like a test to see if you could have older actors but de-age them to make them look like they were. You know, obviously, like, they tried to make them look like they were in Goodfellas and stuff like that. And I think it does work, but it also doesn't work, because they still look old throughout the entire, like I said, Joe Pesci specifically. And I think the thing is with this is that Joe Pesci basically came out of retirement to do this movie, and he's got nothing on his plate since, I think, Joe Pesci is semi-retired at this point. He is pretty much semi-retired. Yeah. Yeah, he basically, you know, I mean, he's essentially been retired since 1999, according to the Wikipedia article, but, you know, yeah, but it's a great movie. Genuinely. And yeah, it's a very long movie that not everyone can have the time to watch, but I do implore you to watch it, because it is one of the best. And I think in terms of all Netflix originals, it's very much up there. I think that would be a long ass list to, maybe I think I might narrow it down to my top 10 favourite Netflix originals from this, because I'm not going to rank 62 fucking movies, because at some point they all just fold into one another. But I think I will do a top 10 Netflix original movies, because this would be right up there. There's a few others that I really, Dolomite Is My Name is fucking awesome. But yeah, that's a movie for another time. And how I'm gonna do this, how am I gonna pick what Netflix movie to review? Well, basically, I have this thing called Wheel of Names. I'm gonna put all the movies into Wheel of Names, and then I'm going to let the wheel decide what movie I review next. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. please check out The Irishman. Thorpe Deluxe is out now. Go stream that shit. It's class. And bye bye for now.